further questions from the audience? Yeah, Caitlin.
I wonder if the panel could comment on some of the policies, whether they be U.S. government, other donor governments, or more global policies that can either help to accelerate research and development or hinder it. And I'm thinking particularly around regulatory. We talked about the delay in getting new products out to those who need them, and sometimes that delay can happen during safety and efficacy review period. But are there policies that you think might need to be changed or that are helpful at this point to the panel?
I could mention two policies which I think have been helpful. I think one of the first is that there are regulatory approaches, and I can mention one that we're currently pursuing with a partner, which is in Europe, and it's called Article 58 and the EMEA, which allows a company to pursue a positive, what's called a positive CHMP opinion, which is an implicit endorsement of the drug and approval, but not an approval for sale in Europe. So it goes through exactly the same regulatory process and regulatory rigor, and it is a stringent regulatory authority opinion that is the basis for approvals in the developing world. And so this type of innovative approach is one that we're currently embarking upon now. I think if we then look at, if we look here in the United States, the US FDA needs to be applauded for the innovation that in bringing forward the priority review voucher. And this is an incentive for pharmaceutical companies to become involved in the development of drugs for neglected diseases, because upon the approval of those drugs, they then get a voucher which allows them to have access to priority review for another drug in their portfolio. And so that priority review for what could be a blockbuster drug in another disease area, for example, can have enormous value. So it's a very strong incentive. So I think these types of, these very creative approaches that have been shown by the regulatory authorities, I think they hold a lot of promise.
If I may add one very important component, which to me is a certain number of initiatives that are aimed at improving and helping building capacity in terms of regulatory authority in countries in Africa. At the end of the day, they are the ones that have to buy into the new, and we've seen, in fact, basically, those are places where at times we've lost time because the regulatory authority were not in place. There are countries where there is no regulatory authorities, and there are initiatives today. The Africa Vaccine Malaria Forum, Vaccine Forum, basically MRF, is an initiative driven by WHO that aims at building that capacity, and where you have EMA, the European Medicine Agency, FDA, that are contributing to it. That's a very important initiative.
Other questions? If not, I'll ask any of our panelists if they want to make any final comments before we wrap up.
Yeah,
Christian?
if I may, one small comment, because I think that is something that I forgot, and I think that is very important in the context where we are thinking that research in malaria, especially malaria vaccine, has seen two important contributors in this country, the NIH and the World Trade Army. And I think that it's very important that funds keep on going into those channels, because they are important for the work that we are doing.
Well, then it just remains for me to thank our panelists and to thank you for coming. I think it's been a comprehensive discussion of some of the challenges, but also some of the recent successes. We've got a lot of strong progress to build on, and it looks like we've got an exciting decade ahead of us. Thank you.